Okay, I made a couple different versions of this basket. Actually, it started out as a box basket. I made one like that out of a doily and it worked fine. But as I was cutting out another one, I was playing with it and I figured out that I really liked these sides that expanded to make it look more like treat basket, or my idea is that I make handmade soap, homemade soap, and I like to give a little, put some potpourri in a basket or a tray and wrap the piece of soap nicely to give it as a gift. And when I saw how nice this looked expanded, I thought that's perfect for the soap that I like to give for special occasions. So I made this green one using a doily that I found at the Pazel's craft room, and I made this yellow one out of a doily that I found in the Make the Cut gallery. So I thought I'd show you how to make this yellow using a doily that Doily or Diana has posted in our gallery. It's free, and there are lots and lots of doilies that she has posted and others have posted, so we'll take a look. These two were from the Split Coast Stampers. There was a tutorial there. It looks like they've got gift items put in there. I was thinking these could be candy dishes, they could be popcorn boxes without the handle. You could French fry holder, however you want to use it. So we'll get started. This started out as a doily, so I'm going to show you how you can take any doily to do this. So I'll open a new page. I think I'll maybe take a picture off. I don't want to slow down too much tonight. The first thing I did was click on the gallery icon at the top of the page and do a search for doily, D-O-I-L-Y. And I'll do descending and search. And we came up with 189 files that are doilies. Now you could look through all 189, but the one that I found was called Doily Bits 56. Let me refine the search and do doily bits. See how many doily bits Diana has done. Oh, she must have had a space in there. No. Well, I will just look for doily bits, maybe doily 56. Uh-oh, it's not finding it. Maybe I have to use capital letters just like she did. Doily bits. Well, I'll go back to doily. And you see there's numbers here, 70, 69, 68. So these are all different doilies that she has added to our gallery. Here's 56. So you click on download underneath the thumbnail and close the gallery. And you see that there's little pieces. Now I'm not going to use all the pieces, so I'll just delete some that I don't need to use. And I'll keep the one that I do want to use. And I really prefer to use my screen in portrait mode. You can use it however you want, but I'm going to copy this, Control-C. I'm going to go back to my page. That's the way I like to use it. And type Control-Shift-V, which is paste in place. I'm working on a contrast screen. I'll probably change it to green just to make it easier to see. There you notice it doesn't look like a doily right now. It is more of a frame. Now I'm going to resize this first. The size I decided after making a few of these, the size I like is about 8.5 inches, 8.5, enter. I have the gold lock icon so that it resizes proportionally. To get rid of this center white space, what I do is use break or Control plus B. It's these two broken pieces down at the bottom. I'll click away from that and I'll click on the center and drag away that piece. And now I'm going to drag around all of it and join them using the join icon or Control plus J. That's this icon out in the middle of the bottom toolbar. So now we have a doily. I was looking for a doily that had a nice edge like this one, but not too deep into the doily because I wanted the center of it to be solid in order to make a solid base for my basket. The next thing I'm going to add is a square. So I clicked on Import Basic Shapes, type SQ, and double click on the square. And the square I need to be 3 inches. This will form the base of my basket. So I type 3 and press enter. Now I can select all and type S to stack them right in the center so that my box, my bottom is right in the middle of the doily. And there are a couple different ways we could proceed now. We could just draw in some lines, or we could duplicate the square. I think what I'll do is draw in some lines. I'll set the snapping to, let's say, 1/2 inch, and click on this figure 8 in the left. I did post a video on how I did this in the Puzzles InView software. I did it duplicating the square, but this time I'm going to draw some lines. What I want to do is draw some folding lines, left click and right click, and I'm just going from the corners of the boxes out. So these are going to be score lines and the center lines are going to be score lines. So left click, right click. Now I think since these are all score lines, I'm going to send this to the top and I'm going to rename this layer score and change these to dashes. I could leave them solid if I wanted to use my engraving tool, but I'll just use my blade for this as it's set up now. Now I'm going to add a new layer by clicking on the green plus icon, the larger one, to add a new layer. So you see the new layers come here, and I'm going to make some cutting lines, again using my pen, and these are going to go up, but first I'm going to lock my score lines so that my cut lines don't connect to it. I'm going to open that again so you can see. When I've got my pen selected, we've got blue dots, and those blue dots would connect to any lines that I draw. So I'm going to lock it, that layer, so that I cannot click on it and so that those blue dots don't show. So now I can left click and right click, and since I've got snapping on, my lines are going right up to where I want them to be. And I want a cut line here and a cut line here. And I could join all these cut lines together. What I'll do is click the top left arrow, selection arrow, and I'm going to click on the thumbnail of the doily to highlight it, hold my shift key, and click on the cut lines. Since these are all going to be cut, I'm going to join them together And that puts them all on the same layer. Then I'll move that layer down below the score lines. So now what we have is two layers. We have a score layer and we have a cut layer. Now when I send this to my force, when I export as SVG, I will have two layers. I have to uncheck the lock so that I'll be able to select all and export it as SVG, and then I can cut this on my force and the layers will show up with the proper names. With the force, the cut lines probably should be on top and the score lines below because they're kind of reversed the way I usually use them and make the cut. So I can change the colors, do whatever I like here. Maybe I'd like them to be green. Can break this, use the second icon and click on this square, convert that to a line because I just moved it. Click on the corner, right click. I just want to break this, break a node. That way I can see the lines that I don't have to change the color of the center. And if I want to see the color a little bit better, I can select the contrast matte, and now I have my doily. All I need now is a handle. To make the handle, I'll click on the top selection arrow, click on my basic shapes and double click the square, and I'll resize this square to 1 inch wide by 8.5 inches long. Press enter. I can change that to the same green, and now I'm ready to cut to whichever cutter I want. The way this works is that when this is cut, you fold all of the sides towards the center on the score lines, and then you'll fold this when it comes forward about halfway, and this one about halfway, so that they'll meet in the center, and that's what gives you the you see how this is kind of at a 45-degree angle, and you can glue it there, and that's what gives you the expanded sides. If you want it to be a box, you would fold it all the way up so that the bottom of this cut piece lines up with the bottom score line, and that'll give you a box with more like this one.